Internationally, ministries of labor collaborate to safeguard workers' rights in the imminent closure of Brownhill Communications, and 14 nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis received 2019 Taiwan scholarships. Regionally, Bunji Garland and Fei Ann escaped serious injury in crash in Trinidad. Internationally, Israel bars U.S. Democratic lawmakers from visiting. And in sports, West Indies' Chris Gayle playing until further notice after ODI against India. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back on now on to the national news in detail. A press release from the Ministry of Labour, Social Security and Ecclesiastical Affairs, dated August 14, 2019, states that the rights of workers of the Brownhill Communications will be protected. Effective September 3, 2019, Brownhill Communications BHC, which has been in operations here on the island since October 2008, will close its doors, and this will affect some 138 employees. The release reads in part, and I quote, "Through a collaborative effort of the ministries and departments of labor in both St. Kitts and Nevis, the rights of workers of the Brownhill Communications will be protected, and they will receive their severance payments early in October," end quote. Severance payment is an amount paid to an employee upon dismissal or discharge from employment. The severance payments will be made in accordance with the legislative safeguards penned in the Protection of Employment Act. This will see the compensation of the workers for their years of service to the Brownhill Communications. The payment, the release said, is aimed at cushioning workers against financial hardship and to soften the blow of the workers' involuntary termination. Both departments of labor will also collaborate to ensure that no unresolved labor matters remain outstanding after the closure of the company. The Department of Labor will send a technical team to the Brownhill Communications to discuss final arrangements for closure with respect to the workers. The reason behind the closure of Brownhill Communications, according to Nevis's Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley, is due to the change in climate business. Climate business is the economic and professional environment surrounding an industry or group of business enterprises. 14 nationals will be added to the already 60-plus studying in the Republic of China, Taiwan. This comes following a ceremony held at the Ocean Terrace in OTI in St. Kitts on Wednesday, August 14th, which named the recipients of the 2019 Taiwan Scholarship Awards. 9 individuals received the Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs Scholarship, and they are Denrick Llewellyn Jeffers, Kareem Parry, Nezreen Ansel Roberts, Xavier Brian Smith, Dakiza Darius Samuel, Trafisana Kazan White, Tronicia Jockwell Flanders, Jovel Krista Lawrence, and Jovia Ranger Felix. 5 in the persons of Brandon Kadeen Frederick, Yazim Haniv Leader, Ruan Tonis Wiltshire, Kendale Liberd, and Alika Aja de Silva were recipients of the International Cooperation Development Fund ICDF Scholarship. 3 out of the 14 persons will be pursuing master's degrees, while 11 will pursue degrees at the bachelor's level. Minister of Education, the Honorable Sean Richards, said that the number of students receiving scholarships represents a strong commitment to developing the human resource of St. Kitts and Nevis by the Republic of China, Taiwan. Minister Richards used the occasion to extend profound gratitude to the government and people of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and in particular, Resident Ambassador, His Excellency Tom Lee, and First Secretary Daniel Koo for their diligence. Since its inception in 2004, a total of 119 nationals from St. Kitts and Nevis have benefited from Taiwan scholarships so far. As the drought phenomenon continues to plague the entire region, particularly Nevis, the Nevis Island Administration NIA has provided an update regarding a filtration system at a well in Hamilton. Almost 3 months ago, during a sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly on May 21st, Minister with responsibility for water here on Nevis, the Honorable Spencer Brand, spoke about the filtration system and said that it will assist in making the water situation better. Here is Nevis's Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley.
Ad-Edge personnel visited Nevis between July 8th to 10th, and they went to the Hamilton site where the filtration system is to be placed. We are investing in a filtration system. What that will do is allow us to put water into the supply that was hitherto outside the supply because of the high chemical content in that water. And so the filtration system will purify the water to bring it to WHO standards. And that is what we're seeking to do. And that is a significant investment, and we are working to get that complete.
At his press conference last month, he reminded all citizens and residents to be conservative when using water.
Let me continue to encourage our people to be prudent and sensible in their use of water. Our water supply is low. We have said that. We're still in drought conditions, and I'm continuing to encourage our people to be sensible in terms of how to use water and to conserve as much as possible.
Premier the Honorable Mark Brantley. Meanwhile, Minister with responsibility for water in St. Kitts, the Honorable Ian Patches Liburd, says that climate change-related challenges such as drought is the new norm. He made the statement during the official media launch on August 13th for the upcoming conference of the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association CWWA to be held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort from October 14th to the 18th. He said that the Caribbean water sector is in need of change as the availability of water in the Caribbean is at a low. Minister Liburd stated that statistics from the St. Kitts and Nevis Meteorological Office stated that the Federation had 63.67 inches of rain last year. As a result, regional cooperation or collaboration is required to find a sustainable solution to our global water crisis that will impact over 1.8 billion people, it is predicted, by 2025, the minister said. It is the minister's belief that the CWWA will provide the opportunity to merge all aspects of water management from wastewater to drinking water and wastewater research to utility and infrastructure challenges. The CWWA is a regional non-governmental organization established by an Act of Parliament in Trinidad and Tobago in 1991. 3 Nevisians will this year be honored by the Nevisian Association of Washington, D.C., NEVDC. NEVDC is a non-profit organization founded by Nevisians committed to having a positive impact on the lives of Nevisians at home and abroad. The ceremony will be held at the annual Honors Banquet in Maryland on Saturday, 20th September from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. The event will this year be celebrating its 15th anniversary. An official from the organization provided the names of the 3 individuals who will be honored this year.
This year we have 3 powerhouse honorees in Stevenson Manners, Mr. Carlisle Powell, and former West Indian middle order all around Keith Atherton.
This year's theme is Cricket for the Love of the Game, Unifying Beyond the Boundary. The organization plans and hosts events each year to support projects in Nevis. Following the awards on Saturday, the organization will be holding a brunch on Sunday, 29th September. Nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis can now enjoy special access to Mexico as the country has deepened its relations with the Federation by offering special arrangements to nationals traveling to the Latin American country. According to a communique from the Embassy of Mexico in Castries, St. Lucia, nationals from St. Kitts and Nevis traveling to Mexico for tourism, business or in transit to another destination do not require a Mexican visa as long as they have a valid visa or permanent residency of the following countries: Canada, Japan, United Kingdom, United States of America, or countries comprising the Schengen area. The Schengen area is an area comprising 26 European states that have officially abolished all passport and all other types of border control at their mutual borders. Countries include Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, etc. Persons outside the Schengen grouping will require a visa to enter Mexico. It further noted that visitors who travel on cruise ships that disembark any Mexican port to visit the port and surrounding zones and embark on the same ship to continue their voyage do not require a visa and will have collective permission under the category of visitor without permission to conduct remunerated activities for a period of 21 calendar days. St. Kitts and Nevis and Mexico established diplomatic relations on July 31, 1990. Agriculture remains one of the areas here in the Federation as the government continues its Eat Healthy campaign. On August 13, 2019, the Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund, Taiwan ICDF, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, signed a General Technical Cooperation Agreement to formalize and deepen cooperation and foster agricultural development in St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean. According to an IICA release, the agreement is designed to encourage and promote cooperation in technology-related and management areas between the institutions and through joint actions accelerate the improvement of agriculture, agro-processing and rural development in St. Kitts and Nevis and other countries in the region. The signing of the General Technical Cooperation Agreement represents a significant step towards furthering strengthening the institutional partnership between these two countries. The release added that both institutions have agreed to establish a tripartite team comprising of representatives of the Taiwanese Technical Mission, IICA delegation and Department of Agriculture of the Ministry of Agriculture to formulate the work plan and project proposals for implementation under the agreement. And lastly, in our national news segment, the Trading and Development Company Limited, TDC's Business Center and City Drugstore Nevis Limited are once again playing their part in helping young persons across the Federation to get the essentials needed to achieve success in the classroom as the start of the new school year approaches. Through its Shop and Share initiative, which started in 2014, the public is encouraged to make contributions by purchasing school supplies, stationery and arts and crafts materials towards the charitable cause. The Shop and Share is part of an annual back-to-school campaign where customers are given huge discounts on laptops and desktop computers, printers and school bundles and accessories. According to a release from TDC, the items bought are then placed in the yellow school buses, which are conveniently parked at the point-of-sale counters until September 14, 2019, after which all the items will be presented to the beneficiaries. For their support, patrons are rewarded with a discount coupon that is redeemable on their next purchase made at any of the two participating retail stores. That's it for the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here's another one for the steppers.
Swipe to win big in 2019. That's right, the Bank of Nevis Limited is once again giving you, our valued customers, a chance to win big. Just swipe or use your Bond Visa credit card for US $100 for a chance to win a cruise for two, an iPhone XS, or a grocery dash at Best Buy supermarket.
Say what?
Sign up for a Bond Visa credit card and automatically be entered for a chance to win. This offer ends August 31st, 2019. So tell your friends and family to swipe to win big with the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram.
Welcome back on to the regional news. Out of Trinidad and Tobago, Bungie Garden and Fayette Lions escaped serious injury on Thursday, August 1st, after a car slammed into their own on the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway. According to LoopTT.com, Bungie, whose real name is Ian Alvarez, said, "We are a bit shaken with minor pains, but we're good so far and that we have life." The Soca Stars were heading west along the highway around 12 noon in the El Socorro vicinity when a black Subaru car slammed into the back of their Range Rover. The impact forced their car to spin out into the middle of the highway. A third vehicle is said to have caused the accident. In the Cayman Islands, amid the spectacle of a guard of honor, top government dignitaries, and a crowd of about 200 people, Athelstan Charles Atholwoth Long, Cayman's first governor, was given a final tribute on Wednesday at the Cayman Islands Baptist Church in Savannah. According to CaymanCampus.com, Long, who died August 1st at the age of 100, became Cayman's last administrator in 1968 and, for a brief few days in 1971, the island's first governor. He was remembered fondly by those speaking officially, as well as those attending the funeral service. Governor Martin Roper said Mr. Long's passing marks a historic moment. Although he left Cayman in 1971, Long, who spent his career in the Foreign Service, returned 5 years later and retired in the country. He served on numerous boards in government and the public and the private sector, including 22 years as chairman of the Public Service Commission. He gave up his last post on a board at age 88. In the British Virgin Islands BVI, parents of some 800 primary and secondary school age students in the 9th District are set to benefit from a back-to-school treat this coming Sunday. 9th District Representative Vincent Wheatley told BVInews.com that his back-to-school fiesta will take place at the Virgin Gorda Recreational Grounds from 10 a.m. Mr. Wheatley said the initiative is mainly to provide assistance to parents, many of whom are still struggling to secure a steady job. He further noted that unemployment is very high in the 9th District since the hurricane passed. He said he intends to put on the event every year and that this year's staging has amounted to roughly $15,000 according to BVInews.com. And lastly, in our regional news segment, Canadian-owned Guyana Goldfields Inc. is examining its options for selling the operations. While local officials of the AGM Inc., the local company, which operates the gold mine in Aurora Cuyuni in Region 7, online business news Bloomberg reported that the Toronto-based company is working with advisors at Royal Bank of Canada and Maxit Capital, an independent financial advisor to mining companies. It was disclosed that the deliberations are in early stages and may not result in a sale of the business. The gold mining company has faced pressure from investors after a sell-down in the stock saw the company lose more than $1 billion in value since June 2016. Investors, led by former Chief Executive Officer Patrick Sheridan, said publicly at the beginning of the year that they were seeking an overhaul of the board amid falling production and higher costs. In April, Guyana Goldfields reached a settlement with a group of dissident shareholders after a proxy fight and agreed to revamp the board and change the CEO. That's it for the regional news segment. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back, and now on to the international news. Israel is blocking 2 U.S. Democratic lawmakers and prominent critics of Israel from visiting. Ilan Omar and Rashida Tlaib were due to visit the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem next week. Both have supported the boycott movement against Israel, but Israeli law allows supporters of the campaign to be banned from visiting. President Donald Trump earlier tweeted it would show great weakness if the pair were allowed entry. Earlier today, Mr. Trump took to Twitter to urge that they be blocked from visiting, adding that they hate Israel and all Jewish people, and there is nothing that can be said or done to change their minds. the two U.S. lawmakers have yet to comment on the decision. Israeli law blocks entrance visas to any foreigner who calls for any type of boycott that targets Israel, either economic, cultural, or academic. The law attempts to suppress the boycott, divest sanction movement, which has drawn growing support across Europe and the U.S. Ebola may soon be a preventable and treatable disease after a trial of 2 drugs showed significantly improved survival rates, scientists have said. 4 drugs were trialed on patients in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where there is a major outbreak of the disease. More than 90% of infected people can survive if treated early with the most effective drugs, the research showed. The drugs will now be used to treat all patients with the disease in DR Congo, according to health officials. On Tuesday, 2 people cured of Ebola using the experimental drugs were released from a treatment center in Goma, eastern DR Congo, and reunited with their families. The U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, which co-sponsored the trial, said the results are very good news for the fight against Ebola. A Russian passenger plane has made an emergency landing in a cornfield near Moscow after striking a flock of birds. 23 people were injured in the incident, which saw the plane land with its engines off and landing gear retracted, health officials said. The Ural Airlines Airbus 321 was traveling to Simferopol in Crimea when it hit the flock of gulls shortly after takeoff, disrupting its engines. State media has dubbed the landing the miracle over Ramensk. The plane had 233 passengers and crew on board when the birds were reportedly sucked into its engines, and the crew immediately decided to land. The BBC's Steve Rosenberg reports.
This is very much down to the skill of those pilots who were able to bring this Airbus down, yes, with a bump into a cornfield, but safely. And if you look at the pictures of the plane, well, it's there, it's in the cornfield, but it's intact, and the more than 230 passengers and crew were able to get out of that plane alive. So already we've heard the Kremlin today saying this is a good day and calling the pilots heroes for saving all the people on board that plane.
And the U.S. Department of Justice has made a last-minute request to the authorities in Gibraltar to halt the release of a seized Iranian supertanker. Grace 1, carrying Iranian oil, was stopped by Royal Marines on July 4th, triggering a standoff with Tehran. The vessel was due to be released after Gibraltar's Attorney General indicated there would be no further order for its detention. More in this BBC report.
We hear from the authorities in Gibraltar that they are scrambling to make sense of this. They say they have received a request from the Department of Justice in the U.S. to seize the ship for the U.S. on a number of allegations. They don't say what those allegations are. The court here has decided to adjourn until 4 o'clock local time. Until then, they want to hear from the authorities whether they want to go with the original application to release the ship or what they want to do.
And that brings us to the end of our news segment. The latest in sports is next.
First Cover is TDC Insurance's special motor insurance package for first-time motor vehicle owners. We at TDC Insurance understand that as a new vehicle owner, you may not have a no-claims discount. With First Cover, we consider your driving experience, age, and accident history, which allows you to receive up to 45% off your first motor insurance premium. And to make it easier, we offer attractive financing options to suit your pocket. Sit back and relax. We'll help you get the protection you need. At TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
Welcome back, and now on to the sports. In cricket, Chris Gale's 301st one-day game for the West Indies was expected to be his last, but according to the BBC, he is playing until further notice. Gale, 39, scored 72 in his side's defeat by India in what had been expected to be his final match. The batsman recently surpassed Brian Lara's ODI run record, which now stands at 10,481. In June, Chris Gale reversed his original decision to retire after the World Cup. Gale, who usually wears the number 45, wore a specially printed shirt with the number 301 on the back at the third ODI against India at the Queen's Park Oval, but his 72 in 41 balls, 62 of those scored on the boundary, was not enough to help his side avoid defeat and a 3-0 series loss. Gale left the field waving his bat aloft, soaking up the warm and prolonged applause from the crowd, a gesture indicating that would have been his last he would have been wearing West Indies colours. Despite that, retired not retired Gale said after the game, "I didn't announce any retirement." Additionally, West Indies captain Jason Holder said, "To my knowledge, Gale has not retired." The scores were as follows: West Indies 240 for 7, India 256 for 4, and India won by 6 runs with 15 balls remaining, DL method. Still in cricket, England's fragile batting again buckled on day 2 of the second Ashes test against Australia at Lord's. Opener Rory Burns made a battling 53, only to be part of a collapse of 4 wickets for 46 runs that left the home side 138 for 6. England partially recovered through a stand of 72 between Johnny Bairstow and Chris Woakes. Bairstow was also helped by cameos from the debutant Jofra Archer and Stuart Broad before becoming the last man to fall for 52 to leave England 258 all out. The scores were as follows: England 258, Burns 53, Bairstow 52, Hazelwood 3 for 58. Australia 30 for 1. Australia trailed by 228 runs. In football, Barcelona and Real Madrid have made unsuccessful offers for Paris Saint-Germain forward Neymar, says BBC Radio 5 Live's Gulen Balag. Neymar's former club Barcelona is believed to have offered €100 million plus Felipe Coutinho. Ivan Rakitic was also discussed with the French club as part of the deal for the 27-year-old Brazil international. Real has put forward a deal that includes money as well as Gareth Bale and James Rodriguez. PSG asked for Vinicius Jr., but Real did not put his name in the frame. Neither bid has been accepted, but it is thought PSG would prefer to sell to Real. Neymar became the world's most expensive player in 2017 when PSG paid him $222 million so that he could buy himself out of his contract at Barcelona. The striker has scored 34 league goals in 2 seasons for the French champions, although injuries interrupted both of these campaigns. And that's it for sports. The weather is next. Welcome back. Tonight's weather will continue to be partly cloudy with a moderate chance of showers. The winds are easterly at 22 to 33 kilometers per hour. The seas are 1 to 1.2 meters or 4 to 5 feet. The sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:54 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Thursday, 15th August 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Ministries of Labour collaborate to safeguard workers' rights in the imminent closure of Brownhill Communications, and 14 nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis received 2019 Taiwan scholarships. Regionally, Bunji Garden and Faye Ann escaped serious injury in crash in Trinidad. Internationally, Israel bars U.S. Democratic lawmakers from visiting. And in sports, West Indies Chris Gale playing until further notice after ODI against India. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Jarvis Bond wishing you a pleasant evening.